What's going on, everybody? Tuna Terps with the Kings of DayZ, and today I'm going to be bringing you my next installment in my tutorial series. So in my last video I showed you guys how to host your own Discord bot that would track players and display that information to your Discord servers. So the bots come a little bit of ways in that time. And now today I'm going to be showing you the latest update to it, where now you can go ahead and do things such as start your server, stop your server, check the status and the details of it, as well as handle the tracker with some nice new looking messages. So without further ado, let's get started. So to get started, you're going to want to go ahead and download my source code off of GitHub. This latest version of the bot is labeled as Discord Tracker V2. That's going to have all the latest features on the bot. If you're new to my videos, you're going to want to go ahead and download Node.js. Basically what that is, it's a server runtime environment that's going to allow us to run JavaScript files. You also need a text editor, which for that I recommend Visual Studio Code. It has a built-in command line interface and debugger, which can be great for server and web application development. You're going to want to also make sure that you set up a MongoDB account if you have not already. And if you have any questions as to how to get all that set up, I definitely recommend you go ahead and watch my first two videos, as those kind of go more in depth as to the actual process of that. Okay, so now that we have the accounts created, we can grab the credentials. First, starting with Nitrado, we're going to make a long life token. For this, pretty straightforward: root server, user info, user edit, and service. Give it a description, something along the lines of test. Your token will be generated up top. This will be your NI-ADM value. Important to replace everything past the equal sign in these values. Next, we are going to grab our game server ID, which can be found in the URL. That will be your NIID. And then last, your FTP username, which can be found here. It's going to be a string for you guys, but Nitrado was nice enough to let me use fish emojis, so thanks for that. Alrighty, and for Mongo database, once you have that set up, we're going to grab a few values. First being your Mongo user, which would be the user that you create for access to your database under your security tab. Then the next value you would allocate underneath that would be your password. Database name would be the actual name of the database that you provide in the cluster. So if you were to hit connect, it would be, in this example, test, which would be what would go into MongoDBN. As for the cluster, I know there was a little bit of confusion with my last video, so I try to make this a little bit more broken down. So we're going to take a line of code from our Connect application snippet, and very straightforward, we are going to copy from the @ sign to right before .mongodb. So just this line, just this little snippet is what we would need. This would go into your cluster, and then we'd have Mongo set up. Next, we are going to create a voice channel if you haven't already. This is going to be where the bot will update with the lifetime player count. You would just copy the ID from the channel. You wouldn't need to specify the name because the bot is going to set the name for it automatically. If you do not have the option to copy the ID, just go to your user settings under your appearance and just enable developer mode. So that value that we got from the voice channel is going to be your D channel value. Last value that would go into your .env file would be your Discord bot token. If you do not know how to set up a bot, I would definitely go ahead and take a look into that either through my previous videos, or there's a lot of great information out there. Once you've gone ahead and you've set it up, you can go to your developer portal, and from here we're just going to click on the link to learn more about bots, to grab the URL example to invite it to your server. So we'll just paste this in the channel on the server that we want to invite it. After ID equals, we're going to want to grab the definitely legit client ID from the URL. Put that in there. And also enable the permissions to 8. This will allow it to have all the scopes it needs to function. You would follow this to invite the bot to your Discord, but I already have it invited, so we can jump into Visual Studio Code, run the program, and see how it goes. Okay, so now that we have the bot online, let's start invoking some commands. First one we will use is the tracker start to get the player tracker started. Next we can check our server status. We would like to look at things like our player count, server name, its status, to see specifically if it's being read as online or not, as well as the host system. So that's the actual system that hosts the game server. So if that's online or there's problems with that, there's probably some bigger issues going on with your server and a lot of others. So we can also take a look at our server details to look at some of the specific settings about a server. So the map, third person, crosshair, mouse and keyboard, etc. And we can then also restart our server. As we can see here, the server is now restarting. I have this set up to a test server, so I did not just boot all those people offline just for a video. Not that mean. And you'll see that the server will come down. We can then also invoke the same command to bring the server back up. Restarting, can either just restart the server in terms of starting it as well. And you also have the command to server stop. I would like this to finish though before I send that command, because it's going to send it to the same server, and you would like to probably want to keep in mind you'd want to space out these commands just as you normally would as if you're sending it through the web interface, you know, just so you don't stress out your server too much with too many requests. Alrighty folks, and there you have it. So this was the version 2 of my DayZ Discord bot. If you guys found this helpful, I would definitely appreciate it if you guys go ahead and you like the video, and make sure to comment and subscribe if you'd like to see more improvements to the bots or other projects from me in the future. Again, my name is Tuna Terps with the Kings of DayZ, and I'd like to thank you for watching.